I deserve to get raped.
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're wearing MAGA shoes in
Yeah.
West Hollywood.
So the response to "you deserve to get graped" is the reason why that's justifiable is because you're wearing MAGA shoes.
You're literally saying you hope I get raped.
I hope you get what you deserve.
Wait, what do you have?
That you get what you deserve.
What do I...
So this person would fit right into 1942 Germany, and we all know exactly what that means. There's no way he would say this in front of a guy. Dude, if I was there, if my cameraman was there, as we've been doing interviews in West Hollywood and other similar areas, it would be a bad day for this guy. Let me just say that. I know most conservative men feel the same.
Nothing, you dumb ugly
What
You've
now?
definitely been raped, and you're okay with it.
You're so insane.
This guy is your average leftist. Like, full stop, your average leftist. Marxism induces psychopathology. It quite technically induces psychopathy, given that it says you're above reality and above any person who disagrees with you. Any person that's not a part of the identitarian cult of the left cannot receive virtue, because virtue doesn't come from merit. It doesn't come from individualism. It only comes from the group identity of the left. This is the reason why they obsess over race and gender. It's identity to them. And so, as far as he's concerned, he's not talking to a person right now, which is the reason why he's willing to say these heinous things. This guy probably walks around and other people think he's normal in his life. He probably thinks he's normal, but he's willing to say these things because these things are normal to him.
I mean, at least have the balls.
I have.
And this girl, dude, props to her. She's so brave. She's standing her ground with a guy saying these insane, heinous things to her, which would be intimidating for a woman, especially when she's by herself, and she still says, "You have no balls." Dude, props to this woman. This is not a good day for the left. They're getting desperate, guys. I've seen some insane stuff happening on Twitter. Today's hoax, and it's funny how we used to have hoaxes for the month, depending on, whether or not the left was in their PMSing phase or whatever. But now it's daily hoaxes. Today's daily hoax is pretending as though Trump called for the execution of somebody, when of course he didn't. We even have far communist leftists calling out the left, saying he did not say this. Cenk Uygur, who is the Young Turks guy, is saying Trump did not call for the execution of Liz Cheney. We even have radical leftists saying, yeah, the media is completely desperate. Kamala Harris is lashing out. We had her trying to copy everything Trump was doing. We had her trying to do social media campaigns that failed. I think our Call Her Daddy episode got 700,000 views total, 720,000 views. And then in one single day, Donald Trump on Joe Rogan got 25 million views. We're swamping them in every category. Makes sense why they're enraged with free speech. Earlier today in Michigan, Trump clarified his statements again. Not that he needed to clarify, because his original statement was the same as his statement. But what you saw here, I think, and I watched this full video. Here's the 30-second clip. Is a lot of poise. He had a lot of poise, and what you see here is that the left is, in comparison to us, completely disheveled and mentally broken and dishonest. And the American people are waking up and realizing that the left, in their fervor and their ravenous resentment for objectivity, they're completely insane. They're dishonest, and they're running a parallel economy of disinformation, which by the day is losing trust and also being dwarfed by what X is single-handedly allowing us to do. As they're losing, and I visualize this as a graph, as they're losing, you see this disconnection with reality that they're undergoing. They're panicking, but since they can't debate ideas, what they're doing instead is they are trying to maintain the lie of we're still the good guys, but as they try to maintain that lie, their position looks ever more absurd given that everyone's rejecting them. And so now it's not just that they're lying, it's that they look embarrassingly insane and crazy with everything that they do. This is something that is happening. Meanwhile, we also have leftists that are still a part of the echo chamber, whether that be in random corners of the internet following who knows what, or listening to CNN if they're boomers or whatever. And the fact that they're in those echo chambers doesn't change the fact that that trend is still happening where they look more and more insane. And so we're essentially having people that are victims of ideologically induced mental insanity or emotional instability. And I'm going to show you an example of that, which is especially egregious, right after this clip.
She kills people. She wanted to, even in my administration, she was pushing that we go to war with everybody. And I said, if you ever gave her a rifle and let her do the fighting.
Liz Cheney is a degenerate woman who pushes for war because she makes profit off of war, as do her friends.
If you ever do that, she wouldn't be doing too well, I will tell you right now. But she's a war hawk.
In this coffee shop, which is where Trump is, he's surrounded by people in Michigan who absolutely love him. And if you watch a full video, there's basically a couple reporters that are there asking really dishonest questions that are juxtaposed. There's like this blonde woman who's asking him questions that are so degenerately feminine and incoherent. Most of the questions are getting ignored by Trump, but everyone in the room is also ignoring her, which makes it really awkward and cringe. It's showing the dichotomy between the elite class of leftists who think that they should be able to rule over you because they're superior to you, and everyone else just ignoring them and aware of the fact that they're frauds. And when I saw that, I realized, okay, we're waking up, we're vaccinating ourselves against the psychopathology of the degenerate female, which is incredible to see.
Kill people unnecessarily, and if she had to do it herself and she had to face
like this answer is way more than just an answer to the question. It's a reminder that our answers are based on sanity, logic, reason, rationality, individualism, and morality. And theirs are based on a craven dogmatism to the resentment of reality itself, which in the case of radical leftism has a degenerately feminine bent to it.
Consequences of battle, she wouldn't be doing it. So it's easy for her to talk, but she wouldn't be doing it. She's actually a disgrace.
By the way, what was very interesting to see is when he walked in this coffee shop, he's actually about to leave. This clip is when he already got the coffee and is about to leave. When he walked in and was standing in the same spot greeting people, he was asked the same question and gave a very similar answer. So he was essentially asked the same question twice, as they were hoping that he would give a different answers for them to soundbite. The left is so dishonest and corrupt. The reporters aren't sent there to gather information, and that's very eerie and weird to me. That there are humans that get paid knowing that they're not there to be journalists, but there to just be dishonest pawns, husks, vessels of an anti-truth ideology. Meanwhile, everyone around you is like a full human. They're not like you. They see you as who you are. They see you as a fraud. I mean, think of how broken you have to be seen as a fraud by everyone around you, and be objectively a fraud, given that you reject rationality and logic and objective morality, and then you still are a pawn for an ideology which everyone views as fraudulent. This is how desperate they are to cling to the counterfeit virtue mechanisms of Marxism. I told you guys I was going to show you another clip of absolutely insane. This was totally ridiculous. A very attractive girl went walking in West Hollywood, and this is close to where I live actually. And this guy who's a leftist says that he hopes she gets raped. Yeah, this is YouTube. You guys know what I mean. I want you to understand this is your average leftist walking around. This isn't an exception. This is your average leftist.
I deserve to get raped.
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're wearing MAGA shoes in
Yeah.
West Hollywood.
So the response to "you deserve to get graped" is the reason why that's justifiable is because you're wearing MAGA shoes. You need not see more crystallized evidence that they believe virtue is doled out as a result of your identitarian status. The left is identitarian. They are an authoritarian identitarian regime which says your virtue and identity is determined by your group identity. This is how atrocities happen. Literally justifying an atrocity, justifying a heinous act, by the way, in front of a woman who is walking by herself. There's no way he would say this in front of a guy. Dude, if I was there, if my cameraman was there, as we've been doing interviews in West Hollywood and other similar areas, it would be a bad day for this guy. Let me just say that. I know most conservative men feel the same. But this absolute freak is representative of Germans who witnessed and carried out heinous crimes against humanity and sanctioned them by their negligence. But in this case, he's advocating for a heinous thing because she is of the wrong group, because she is wearing MAGA shoes. So as far as this leftist is concerned, this woman deserves to be graped because she's wearing MAGA shoes. I'll play that again.
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're wearing MAGA shoes in
Yeah.
West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like he says that as if it's an answer.
I'm wearing my dope ass MAGA
Like
shoes.
I said, go back a
Yeah.
He's convicted for rape. It's
Not.
also illegal to film somebody in California.
Oh, what are you
without their
gonna do
consent.
about
Dude, this guy's such a beta male, but of course he also, would get his ass kicked.
Nothing, you dumb ugly bitch.
What a
You've
now.
definitely been raped, and you're okay with it.
You're so insane.
This guy is your average leftist. Like, full stop, your average leftist. They know that they're going to lose. They're panicking that everyone sees them as immoral frauds. And I messaged this girl saying this, but Marxism, as it doesn't believe in the individual identity, believes that it is above reality and above you. And I tweeted this as well under her video. It's getting a lot of likes, which is good, because people need to understand that this comes from Marxism. And Marxism induces psychopathology. It quite technically induces psychopathy, given that given that it says you're above reality and above any person who disagrees with you. Any person that's not a part of the identitarian cult of the left cannot receive virtue, because virtue doesn't come from merit. It doesn't come from individualism. It only comes from the group identity of the left. This is the reason why they obsess over race and gender. It's identity to them. And so, as far as he's concerned, he's not talking to a person right now, which is the reason why he's willing to say these heinous things. This guy probably walks around and other people think he's normal in his life. He probably thinks he's normal, but he's willing to say these things because these things are normal to him. The left creates psychopaths. It preys on broken, obviously beta freak men and degenerate women. But this is not an exception. This is the architecture of the left.
You're so
I'm insane that
nuts.
you're filming a strange.
And this guy, by the way, is saying this to a girl who's walking by herself. Man, dude, if I was there, this would not go well for him. I know most men feel the same. And when I say men, of course, I'm not talking about leftists, because we know that those are women.
Yeah, because you're literally saying you hope I get right.
I hope you get what you deserve.
Wait, what do you hope?
That you get what you deserve.
What do I?
So this person would fit right into 1942 Germany, and we all know exactly what that means. Leftists endorse atrocities because they think they're superior to you. This is the reason why Trump is going to win, so that we can break their psychopathology.
I deserve?
The only way you can hold a psychopath accountable, since they don't care about morality, and the left has created millions of psychopaths, the only way you hold a psychopath accountable is by enforcing consequences, because they don't feel bad about being psychopaths. That's the definition of being a psychopath. So the only thing they fear is consequences. This is the reason why we must enforce consequences by electing Trump.
Sure. I mean, at least have the balls.
I have.
And this girl, dude, props to her. She's so brave. She's standing her ground with a guy saying these insane, heinous things to her, which would be intimidating for a woman, especially when she's by herself, and she still says you have no balls. Dude, props to this woman.
Yeah, I can tell. You seem very fucking normal.
Her account is Emily Saves America. Let me know what you think about this. The left is completely in shambles. Everyone sees them as frauds. They have a lot of, it's not just work to do. They have a titanic effort to undergo to defrag themselves from believing that they're superior. Basically, they have to reconnect themselves with reality. They have to stop demonizing objective frameworks, which will result in a complete rehaul of all the presuppositions, which is very painful. Jordan Peterson references it as dead wood. They're going to have to burn away 99.9% of their dead wood, which is 99.9% of their psyches, which is built on faulty ideas, failed presuppositions. They have to re-engage with an individual identity, re-engage with reason and rationality logic. They have to distance their conceptualization of merit with being a victim and instead re-engage it with being an individual. This is a process that they are monumentally behind in, and so they're not going to be able to catch up in even a couple of years. This is going to take decades for the leftists to realize, wait a second, I've been destroyed. And there are many people that are so far down the path of resentment that they will never recover. But what will be the recovery mechanism is younger generations looking at, oh, well, I don't want to be like, Aunt Becky because she's 55 years old, single and childless, and still blaming the patriarchy for the reason she's living in a one-bedroom apartment alone, right? And then the young women are going to look at her and be like, okay, I don't want to choose this path. Some people are not recoverable. This guy may not be recoverable, but yeah, he doesn't need to be recoverable. He just needs, you know what I mean? So subscribe to the channel, guys. I appreciate you all. We're 4 days out from the election. We have 4 days left to save America. The polls are looking good, but we're going to sprint through the finish line. We will bring order and we will save America.